I want to start, before answering you, Mark, I want to start by just saying that I think that the conversation we need to have in Kenya is a conversation about whether we want to be governed by the rule of law or whether we just want to be led by the whims of politicians. And I'm glad that we have Professor Adams Olo and Kamodo Weganjo here, who are constitutional lawyers. And I think it's imperative that they speak to this issue. Currently, as we speak, I think that the BBI is, the launch and the process that is ongoing is an act of impunity. We are in a constitutional quagmire right now with the CJ's advisory with regards to Parliament. And the manner in which the executive is handling this whole thing is like it doesn't matter. So now you ask us whether moving the women reps from the National Assembly to the Senate is a gain for women. The question we need to be asking is, for an administration that has, for the past 10 years, or at least let's say 7 years with these guys, exercised veto power over women's political rights, until and unless they give us what the current constitution guarantees to us, there really is no conversation that we can begin to have. And I think it's disingenuous for anybody to be mobilized around the BBI. The country is going through very many challenges at the moment. We are in a constitutional crisis. We are in a debt crisis. We are in an economic crisis. We're in a social crisis. We have a health pandemic. We have children who are not in school. We have unemployment, high suicide rates for people who have completely lost hope. And the best effort that our government can do for us is to bring us the BBI and tell us to expand the executive, because everything else is a carry-on. The main aim of the BBI is a serious clawback, particularly on the independence of the institutions, the checks and balances, and accountability of persons, rather duty bearers. So for me, the conversation that we need to have as Kenyans is, what are we going to do about the political class that have completely refused to address themselves to the challenges that are facing the nation and have instead decided to take us on a joyride of something called the BBI. In my opinion, the BBI is political conmanship and the mark is Kenyans. And I think that as Kenyans, we really need to say no, because this is not what they're there for. Many of the proposals that are made within the BBI are things that can be addressed through policy and administration, just the administrative issues. The most substantive issues that we are seeing here is a return to an imperial presidency, lack of separation of powers between the legislature, and an attempt to finally capture the one institution that has been independent under the 2010 Constitution that they have failed to capture, which is the judiciary, through this ombudsman that is appointed by the president, so that at all times the president, under the proposals of the BBI, would be the one to determine how Parliament and the judiciary operates. And this is particularly what Kenyans said they didn't want, an imperial presidency. And there are many other issues that are problematic with some of the proposals that they've made. But for me, the real question here is this. We have a declaration of Parliament being dissolved. Never mind that there is a stay order. The stay order has not voided the CJ's advisory. And yet, in the midst of this constitutional quagmire, we are running along as though nothing has happened. So I think that that's the conversation that we need to have. And I think that the media need to help us have this conversation as Kenyans.